Yeah, bhaiya, started.
Saram, saram, saram. So the question posed by Chariji is, what is the difference between burial and cremation? And subsequently, the mankind of late has it become insensitive towards passing away of people, right? So we have both logical, spiritual, as well as contemporary answers for both these questions. To answer the first question, the difference between burial and cremation. From the Vedic days, ancient days, burial was restricted only for the gurus, saints, and siddhas, Mahan yogis, who are considered to be a Karanavatar. All the others were given a cremation. All the bodies of general public were cremated. Only the gurus, Siddha Purushas, yogis, and sadhakas, and such people were given the funeral. So, the reason is funeral is given to people who have just shed the body, but they are there in the same form and name. Actually, logically speaking, I am talking only about the processes in the Sanatana Dharma, that is the Dharma which is originated on this soil, the religion and the religious practices which are practiced here on this soil. I am not talking about the Western philosophy and, in Christianity and Islam, Abrahamical religion, there it's only burial, there's nothing called cremation. So both cremation and burial were practiced here. And what I have said is the difference for a person who is, a common man was always given a cremation, the body corpse of a saint or an evolved soul, who still, despite shedding the body, they are going to remain there and they continue to guide the mankind. Mainly the gurus, mainly the avadhutas. Avadhutas are buried. Gurus are buried. Their body not there. I mean, sorry, don't get me wrong. But in the case of common men, they are cremated. Subsequently, cremation and burial was performed for both saints as well as common men. Today also, some of the saints are buried, some of the saints are cremated also. Chariji, you'll have to mute your audio.
Yes, sorry.
So, the most scientific way of performing the last rites of somebody is always cremation. I am talking about general public. Most logical, scientific way. Because it's the fire which decimates all sorts of things. A person's body might have had some infections which can be contagious, which can be anything. That is so long as the hygiene is concerned. But spiritually speaking, cremation is the most ideal way of sending away the body. With cremation, the Pancha Tattvas, which are made in the body, which the body is made of, will start getting disintegrated. Even in the days, ancient days, in the Greek civilization, Greeks used to cremate the bodies. They never used to bury the bodies. They only used to cremate. Right. So, so what happens is when you cremate, panchatattvas will disintegrate. When you bury, they do, but it takes more number of time, more passage of time. So the burial process is very laborious. So disintegration of Panchatattva is very slow. And it is also got to do with the belief system of the soul travel. In Sanatana Dharma, once the body is relieved from, the soul relieves the body, leaves the body, and body is just of no consequence or significance, it is just cremated. Whereas in Abrahamical religion, the process of like from mortal being to the heavenly abode or to hell or whatever, the number of days it takes is, as per their calculations, is 45. So they bury, so that the body decays slowly. They pack it with salt. The body is put to rest. They pack it with the salt so that the body doesn't decay. Because as per their belief system, the angels or the jinn or anything from the heavens will descend. And that is a judgment day. The day of death is a judgment day. So they will take 45 days. That is as per the Abrahamical religions. So 45 days is required for the jinns or the spirits or the angels to descend, and they engage in a conversation with the departed. And for those 45 days, the soul remains there. It is not liberated. That is their belief system. Sanatana Dharma believes the moment the soul leaves the body is gone. There is no consequence or significance to the body, they just cremate it. So the difference between burial and cremation. Now you will ask, besides the saints and monks and many people, evolved souls, in Sanatana Dharma, under the umbrella of so-called Hinduism or the Sanatana Dharma, many of the subsects will bury, most of the castes will cremate in Sanatana Dharma also. Here what happens is the burial was done by the crookedness of these high class, priestly class Brahmins. The Brahmins are definitely not bad. They are the ones who are the upholders of the culture, the dharma of the society, primary establishment of dharma. But what happened in between? Some of the pandits, they made a mess of it. They refused to perform the last rites of the lower caste, so-called. Then they had no choice. They started performing the burial on their own. Because cremation grounds were not even allowed for these people of the lower caste. That was bad. That is unpardonable. Then if you see in Veerashaiva Lingayats, this community in southern India, everybody is buried, barring a few. Why they are buried? Because every Veerashaiva has been given a Diksha. Diksha by a guru, when he wears that thread with the container which has the personal shivling. So when they are buried also, they are buried in a manner, they are sitting in a dhyana position and then they are buried. Most of the subsects of Veerashaivas, Lingayats. The reason is they feel once a Diksha is given, that person is potentially a divine, a guru's sthana. The one who's a sadhaka must have been an evolved. So everybody who has been given a diksha, commonly they started practicing the practice of burial. So likewise, different cultures, different belief systems have different reasons for burial versus cremation. But the supreme, the ultimate is cremation. The disintegration of panchatattvas, 5 elements with which the body is made, happens instantaneously upon the external heat or the fire is induced to the body. The first thing which will evaporate or disintegrate is contrary to many belief system, is not the water, the jala tattva. No, the first is the akasha tattva. The body starts shrinking. The moment the body starts shrinking, the vacuum within the body, the akasha tattva, starts disintegrating, even when it comes to burial as well as cremation. So the akasha tattva and then the jala tattva, then the vayu tattva, everything will start disintegrating. So it happens instantaneously in cremation. And subsequently, what happens when you do this burial? You have a sense of attachment. You have a sense of attachment to that person or that place where the person is buried. So you tend to go keep visiting. You keep going and remembering. That also disturbs the soul, which if it is stuck in between two realms. So scientific, logical, and spiritual way of performing the last rites to the body is cremation, unless and until that person has lived a life of an avadhuta, a guru, or a saint, or a monk, or a yogi. Srila Prabhupada, samadhi, not cremation, burial. Likewise, all the heads of the monasteries or, the mathas in India, they're all buried. They're not cremated because the Chaitanya, the person's attention, when we go there, the virtues and values that that person has imbibed in the society remains and lingers and guides the society consistently, right? So this is the difference between burial and cremation. Now, coming to your next question, has the mankind become very insensitive towards people passing away? I look at it in two ways, Acharyaji. First answer is, yes, as you rightly said, they bring children nowadays. Looking at it in a radical way, at a very young age, this ultimate reality is exposed to the children, which I feel is okay. Fine, it's okay, no problem. Because this is the ultimate truth. The children at the age of 7, 8, 9, or it's not advisable. Definitely, I would say that it is too brutal because it's a very primitive mind. The children after the age of 12, 13 is not a problem. They should know. It's okay. But if the intent of the people who are bringing the children is that, then it is fine. Otherwise, it is disrespectful. I do agree. Coming to the people, have they become less empathetic, less sensitive towards people passing away? True. You're right. At times we wonder. It is not that we have to cry, thump our chest and create an ugly scene, but a silent prayer, a sense of mourning, honoring and respecting the departed, like whatever it is worth, for whatever it is worth. That is very essential. People have started celebrations, even in the name of, the last rites and post that. So people have become insensitive. Ghora Kali Yuga. It doesn't matter. They move on very quickly. And the justification is not anything other than, yes, this is normal. This is going to happen to everybody. The same thing, if that person gets to know that their end is near, they get very nervous, they catch a cold feet. People are indeed becoming very, very insensitive of late. And also we should see the circumstances we live in. The number of people who are on earth, 8 billion people. It's very common. The population is bloating. People go. We cannot expect the sensitivity to remain as it was in the past. Yes, this is a practical thing, but all that I personally feel is one should respect the departed. You cannot be celebrating. A person has lived a life, has had a body, has contributed to few lives or many lives. But whatever it is, what I feel that mankind is losing is a sense of respect for the departed. That should certainly be there. That's diluting, unfortunately. If you, I don't want to name the community, if somebody has departed in that community, the body is kept in a place, fine, the last rites. It is a celebration. They call for liquor, they cook meat, they drink, they chit chat and everything. Then this has been there for thousands of years, that community. That community is descendants of Greeks. So they settled down in southern part of India. It's a Greek culture. And if you see in the Western world, I mean, besides being burial versus cremation, in the Western world, the dead body is actually, I think it is in Ireland, if I'm not wrong, or in one of the European countries. They take the body to the pub where the man is a regular visitor to the local pubs, and they make sure that the body is there, and they all sit and say cheers and drink. They at least celebrate life, though they drink. I mean, they respect the dead and they celebrate his life. But here in India, what is happening is that, yes, the departed as being disrespected. In earlier days, as per the rituals, it had to be 11 days or 13 days or whatever number of days after that you do the Punyatithi, we call it as. But today they cut short. All relatives won't come. They will move on. They have come for the funeral in 2-3 days. They'll funeral or cremation or whatever, 2-3 days we'll finish the last rites also and be done with it. Third day, fourth, finish, close. That is how practical the mankind has become, which is so ugly. It's so ugly. But yes, insensitivity has creeped in. If it is out of maturity, I would still agree that, okay, they have understood that the person is still there. He is eternal, only the body has gone. So let's not mourn. Let us celebrate. It's fine. Here it is not that. They don't care. They don't have the time. That's the issue. You're right. Right. So if anybody has any questions, you may please ask. Otherwise, we'll conclude this topic.
See, in southern India, especially in
Your
Kerala.
voice is feeble, Baba. You have to be a little louder and close to the mic, please.
Is it better?
Yeah,
Is
please.
it better? Yeah, in southern India, especially in Kerala, the kids who are, it's not kids less than 18, if the parents are there, they normally don't cremate. They only do burial. Is there any specific reason for that?
Your question is not very clear, Jyoti.
The
I
kids.
can't make out what you're saying because its voice is breaking.
But yeah, what she says is in Kerala,
Mm.
when the parents are alive, both parents are alive, and small kids, when they die, we don't cremate them. They are not burnt, they are buried. That is what she is asking.
Okay.
Why is it done like that? She is asking.
There will be a reason behind it. There are several possible reasons. If the infancy is, the reason is the soul tends to linger for more number of days than the matured person who has lived their life completely. The thing is, if it is a young child, the soul is still lingering. See, I mean, it's a very sensitive subject. It's very touchy I am about this subject, but yeah, young children passing away, they don't move on immediately. They are lingering a lot. They linger a lot. So more, I'm going by the theory of possibilities. The more number of time the body decays, the more rituals are performed for someone who has passed away at a much younger age, possibly. But you touch that subject, since you have touched that subject, I have to clarify. It's very unfortunate that young children going, their souls don't get liberated immediately. It lingers for a long passage of time. They have questions. They're in a limbo. They're not suffering, nor they are happy. They're in a limbo. Possibly that's why they bury them. Right.
Okay.
Bhaiya, can I ask something?
Haji, Haji.
Bhaiya, similarly, in our religion, the infants, if they die, they are normally given away in the river. It's like we flow them out in the river.
Salila
One of sorry.
called the Salila Samadhi.
Okay.
Salila Samadhi. Salila
Yeah.
Samadhi is generally okay. Go ahead, complete the question.
So this is my question. Then why is it that otherwise we are, kind of cremating, but in case of infants, we are not. We are giving it away to the river.
The reason is, even though a person is born and a very touchy and sensitive subject it is even to me, but yes, we have to look at it. We should address the elephant in the room. So unless and until the Diksha in the Sanatana Dharma, or in every religion, the child is being given that for in Islam, they do the khatna, what they say for the boys and the girls, they have some other ritual. For I think in Sikhism, it is Amrita Chakna. It is initiated.
Baptism.
So baptism, right? Yeah. In every religion, we have this baptism, and in Christianity, we call it as baptism or whatever. Unless and until that is not done, the last rites should not be performed for anyone who's passed. So the soul or the journey of that is incomplete. So they don't perform the last rites. They do not have to linger in the higher abode. They just have to, both burial is for the lengthy passage of time for the disintegration of the elements and then the clinging. And for in another way looking at it, they don't perform the last rites for someone who has not been baptized in any religion. So they do the Salila Samadhi. They just give away in the water. Baptizing is the prerequisite for the last rites. Right. Salila Samadhi is performed for that. This I'm very surely saying about Salila Samadhi for children, and even many monks and saints, they at their own free will and accord, they get the Salila Samadhi done.
This is only for the infants below 2 years.
Let's, this is a little too touchy a subject. I mean, I just want to conclude this because it's painful. Right. And also, Trilanga Swami, the monk in Kashi who lived for 300 years, he embraced Salila Samadhi. Like he said that after I shed the body, just leave it in Ganges. It is, yes. And also in Kashi, if you see some of the people who have got, I mean, how the perversion in belief system happens is people, if they have leukoderma, the vitiligo, the white patches on the skin, they're not cremated. They don't give the perform the last rites for those people. They are also given Salila Samadhi. They just leave them in the water in the eastern part of India. So a lot of things go here and there. Let's drop this topic.
Sure. Bhaiya.
Yeah,
Thanks.
thank you. Thank you. Navita ji, if you can conclude this recording. Sarah.